Hi everyone. Today I'm talking about how to get started with cash stuffing on a low income. This is part of my frugal living. And if you're following me, you will know that I have retired early. I am no longer getting a paycheck and I am not on Social Security right now. And I am still finding ways to save money, and I'm going to share those ways with you today. So I went on YouTube to find out how I could still save money while I wasn't receiving any income, and followed the YouTube algorithm to some cash stuffers who stick money into envelopes so they can save for their financial freedom. If you really want to learn how to start saving money, even with a small income, or if you're just tired of being broke, this video is for you. Let's get started. Okay, but first a disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just sharing what is working for me on my journey. If you're looking for financial advice, please go find a licensed financial advisor because they will help you just as much as they are helping me, and I recommend getting one. That was a hornet. Oh my God, he's still around. Oh! Okay, I'm gonna pause now. Holy moly. This video is about saving. It's not really investing, although it is investing in some respects, and that's the ultimate goal. Because you cannot build your wealth without putting some money away now. And so we need to start with savings. So savings is simply just taking a portion of your income, and I'll explain where this income is coming from for my savings in just a minute. And especially for emergencies that may pop up, who knows when. And the key thing here is that you need to have the money accessible. And why am I saying we need to have this money accessible? It's because when emergencies come up or a pending recession is looming, you don't want to have to go into debt just to cover those unexpected emergencies. There's a hornet around me, so forgive me if I'm looking around and moving weird. I'm just gonna stop. Sorry, I had to stop because a hornet was just buggering me right now. Oh, good Lord. You stay in your place and I'll stay in mine. Okay, if you're just starting your frugal journey or your money saving journey, your first goal should be to build your emergency fund. And when I went with my financial advisor, he said I should have 3 to 6 months of living expenses in my emergency fund. So just keep that in mind, but we are also going to talk about some of the other things that I'm saving for. And we're going to go through some of my top saving tips that work. I mean, really work. They are practical, and you can start them today, especially if you're on a tight budget or living on low income. So hopefully you have your budget already set up. If you don't, that should be your first goal, along with saving for an emergency fund. But this is about savings. Tip number 1 is to set a clear goal. Don't just save for the sake of saving. Know what you're saving for. For me, it's an emergency fund and a few other things, and I'm going to insert a video clip of how I began this journey And you can see the progression throughout this video. You could be saving for a car, you could be saving for home repairs, any goal that gives your money a purpose. And it helps you avoid spending on impulse. Like, don't buy that candy bar. Put the money aside, and I will give you some strategies for that money. For me, and for beginners, start small and aim high for your savings. Okay, this is where I started. In January, I did my budget and I realized that we were not really saving any money. And so I started making some changes. And like I said, I went to YouTube and tried to look for some help. So in our house, we had a couple of different ways that money was sort of accumulating. Like over here, I have a glass jar, and that's where a lot of our change went. And sometimes we had some extra money that I'll explain later where that comes from. And we had my mom's old army box that she saved from my father, who was in war. And she used to keep her cash envelopes in here. And so that's kind of where I started, because sometimes you know what you know until you know more. And that's what happened to me. I started using some cash envelopes because there were things that I did not budget for. And I had to find a way to make up those expenses so that we didn't go into debt. And that's what triggered me on this journey. All right, I'm going to put this aside for now and go through these envelopes and put my mom's bucket away for now. Now, there were a few things that I didn't plan for, and so I made these envelopes, and these envelopes came from bills. So in the mail, when you get your bills, such as your utility bills, you still get envelopes that you can mail back a check in. And I don't use the checks anymore. I use online banking, so I just utilize these envelopes. As you can see, here's homeowners insurance. I have a wedding coming up in October that I did not plan for. We had started in January that we were going to work on home repair project for our windows. Instead, that has been reallocated to our golf cart batteries. I have my emergency fund. I have travel. I have our Republic trash that gets paid in March of 2026. I paid for it this year, but I forgot to allocate the money for that in our budget. I also have long-term care, car insurance, dental care, and then I have some blank envelopes that do not have any allotment for, but they're there for spare purposes. You can get these envelopes or other envelopes, you can get them right at your bank. Here's some that are from Truist Bank, and here's a few from Chase Bank, in case you're trying to find a way to start that has low cost or minimal cost to it. You can find these envelopes and develop your own system for savings. Okay, I'm going to put these aside for now and go through how I get some cash, because as you know, I retired early and now I am living on low income, and I needed to find ways to get money. Now, I initially started by collecting what was around the house, and you probably have a cash cup, a coin jar, or something that you're saving money in, and it was getting pretty full. It was about up to here, so I eventually started cashing in some money so I could start filling my envelopes. And then I was like, okay, there has to be more ways for me to get money into this house that could help me fund my envelopes. So I did find some ways. And another way I am doing it is by selling items on Facebook for cash. So I will plug in what I sold on Facebook recently and what I have posted, and a few other ways that I have collected a few dollars here and there that are going to be allocated into my cash envelopes. And I'm going to explain a way that I am using this cash because I have collaborated with some cash stuffers who are on YouTube that are helping me save more money. The other thing I did is I took $100 out for the week of April 27th to May 3rd to see if I could keep that $100, or if I had to use it, what would I use it for? And this came from my tax return money. So these are just a few ways that I am making some extra money in our house in order to fulfill some of our cash envelopes. And I'm going to go through some of my goals because I don't want to stop just there. I want to keep increasing our savings so that I can use it for investment purposes. And so I did make a couple of purchases through Amazon. So I did purchase this binder from Amazon because I found that I was using a lot of time in counting money and keeping track of all these envelopes, and I needed to put it all in one place. And these do have budget sheets, so I can put in the date that I add some money, maybe where it came from, the amount, and keep a running balance so that anytime I go to look and see where I am in my cash savings, all I can do is just pull this one binder and have it all in one place. The second thing I did was I purchased, being a little ambitious, as a $2,500 savings challenge. And I haven't opened it yet, as you can see, because I'm not there yet. And I think I'll probably start it maybe next year, but it is one of my goals. I do have a goal to open this up and save $2,500 next year, just using the examples or maybe other examples that I learned from you or YouTube, and how to save more money cash-wise to put in these envelopes to create more wealth in our household. Well, this bug has been buggering me, and this video is starting to get a little long, and I still have so much more to talk about with this cash stuffing journey that I'm on. So we're going to call this part 1, and I would like you to subscribe so that we can continue this journey on part 2, which is the evolution that I'm going through with my cash stuffing envelopes. So thanks for joining me, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.